Just a heads up, in this video, everything I do, I'm either following the add to home screen documentation or the viewpoint meta tag documentation from NDN Web Docs. If you prefer reading and following documentation compared to watching a video, then you can read the documents in the description instead. All right, here we go. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to make the website look better on mobile. Now, there are two big problems with this site that make it feel not like a mobile app. Number one is that it's just too tiny. The text is really tiny. On a desktop application, like this, it looks great. But when you view it on a mobile, it imagines that the site is on the width of a full desktop screen. In this case, 980 pixels wide. And then it shrinks it down, really shrinks it down to fit your narrow mobile. There is one line that we can put into the HTML code over here that says this site is designed for mobile. It's designed for narrow viewports, windows that are very narrow, screens that are very narrow. And that line is not that. It is the meta viewport element or tag. If you Google meta viewport, you'll find something like this. This is on the Mozilla documentation, which is very good. And a line like this, if I copy it and paste it here, notice that I put it up in the head section because this code doesn't actually have content that will appear on the page, but changes the way that the page looks and acts. And it says, don't treat this as a desktop window, that's really wide, and then try to shrink it down to fit on a phone. No. I've designed this to work in all browsers of all different window widths and heights, so just treat it as the usual width of whatever browser you're on. So if I press refresh now, on mobile, it treats it as, an iPhone SE is 375 pixels wide, so it treats it as 375 pixels wide, and it looks good. If I change it to a desktop by pressing, see this button up here? That button, by the way, is how you change between the mobile view and the desktop view. I probably should have mentioned that in the last video. And if I refresh now, looks good on mobile. Change it, refresh, looks good on desktop as well. Good, so that one line makes your sizing of your fonts and everything look more consistent across mobile and desktop and tablets. The other step that we can do is to fix this problem. When you open a web page, it shows the address bar. And that one little thing makes it feel less like a mobile app. So I have a guide here. Where is it? Add to home screen. In fact, if you Google add to home screen, then you can learn a little bit about how this works. Step number one is if you've put your site on the internet, then someone can already add it to home screen, which makes it feel more like an app. On Chrome, on an Android device, you press the three dots and then you go install. This assumes that you've already put it on the internet. If you're not sure how to do that, I will link one of my tutorials on how to get your site on the internet using Netlify and GitHub Desktop. So that will get it on. If you get it on the internet and visit it, you can press the three dots and go install. And that is very good, but you still have the address bar. And it would be nice to give your phone app its own name and its own icon and colors. That will make it feel more like a native app. So how do we hide the address bar and change the button that appears so that it looks better? Well, what we do is it needs to be on the internet, specifically served via HTTPS, which Netlify will do, and you need to have a file, and you need to have an icon. I don't think you really need that. Okay, so we need this web manifest file. Let's go down and copy this. There we go, there's our file. Going to get this and make a new file. Maybe I'll bring up the file menu and right click in an empty space and go new file. It has to end in .webmanifest. So I will call it manifest.webmanifest because that's what they called it. Enter. And now I will copy this code oopsie, copy this code and put it here. Save. This doesn't do anything yet, but there are a few things that we need to change anyway. You can change the description and color. Let's leave it for now, just so you can change as minimal as possible to see if it works. There is one thing that we have to change though. Do you notice, if I go File Explorer, this index.html is in the root directory. It's in the folder for this project. It's not in a subfolder, it's just right there. Whereas the URL here, the start URL, is set to PW examples, A2HS. We don't have any folders like that. So let's just delete that and save. So now, when someone loads the page and they add that home screen button, it will take us straight to index.html, which is our main page. Good, so we've got that. We'll probably get an error if we don't have this icon set. So let's make a new folder called icon. We'll right click in an empty space, new folder, call it icon. And it needs to be called foxicon.png. To get that, where can we find that icon? They actually have a finished product right at the bottom of this page, somewhere. Eventually, you get pretty good at reading documentation like this and finding what you need. But clearly, I am not that good. Where is the finished product? Aha! Demo live, source code. Let's go to the source code. Images. Oh, back. Icon. There we go. Fox icon. There it is. I will right click, save as, and I want to save it to simple mobile layout. Into the icon folder, save. Yay, there's my icon. Good. So now I've got my manifest file. When I visit this file though, the browser won't even know that this file exists because I could have named it anything. So there is another line that we need, which is back in that tutorial, back. Oh, there it is. Where is it? Aha, link the HTML to the manifest, copy that, index.html, put it up there. Oh, I forgot to copy it. Copy, paste, there we go. This is another thing that will go in the head. And now my page looks exactly the same. But if I put it on the internet and then I press the 3 dots and go install, I should get an icon and a name on the home screen, and when I load it, it won't have the address bar. On iPhone, it's a little bit different. You press the share button and then go add to home screen, but it works the same way. Now, you're probably wondering how to get it on the internet. Again, that is a separate tutorial that I will have in the description. Once you've saved this, by the way, you'll need to save it. You'll need to re-upload it to the internet, visit it on your mobile again, maybe refresh, and you should be able to add to home screen. It's a bit of a process, so if you've got any questions, let me know. I'll help you out. The documentation is great. This page here is where I've learned most of what I've just shown you. All right, see you everyone.